Welcome to Botch's Offroad Podcast, your source to overlanding in your stock element to wheeling something wild. I'm here with Gavin. He's one of our hosts, and he is going to tell us about his rig.
Well, how you doing, Alex?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm running an 07 FJ Cruiser, base model, automatic. I bought it about 2 years ago. And yeah, I bought it about I think it was about 110,000 miles, and I'm about just about hit 145,000. So still a brand new.
A lot of miles.
A lot of miles
in 1 year?
No. Did I say 1 year? I meant like 2.
Oh, maybe I'm bad at math.
Yeah, no, it was 2 years, but I thought I did okay, but then, I like driving it so much that I don't mind putting the miles on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you buy them, right? To drive them, not to let them sit.
Yeah. I probably put 400 miles on it every trip that I do, every weekend. So
400 miles with 5 of them being off-road?
Yeah, probably, yeah, most of it's highway. And then probably, I don't know, I spent a good 6 to 8 hours off-roading each day, depending on what we're doing. But so, yeah, I guess that's actually kind of a cool question for me. But I'd probably say 20-ish, 20 or more. I don't know. That'd be an interesting thing for me to try out. Because when you think about it, when you're going as slow as you are on some of these trails, it feels like it's a lot longer, but in reality, not so much.
What are your plans with off-roading? Why'd you get into off-roading? How's that? That's a better way to ask that question.
Well, I've been camping like my whole life. Started as a young kid. My dad would take me out. And I want to camp and I want to adventure. And I don't know, I was looking at car camping once I got the FJ. I wanted to sleep in the back, and looking that up, I kind of came through and found like overlanding and stuff, and kind of fell in love with the idea of what that is. I like the idea of traveling, stopping a night at a beautiful area that you've spent hours off road, that not a lot of people can get to. Staying the night and then going to your next spot and just looking for the next adventure and the next most beautiful scenery. So I think that, and the love of the wilderness and being out and wanting to discover more is kind of what brought me into it. But, I've kind of met a lot of people, joined a lot of groups that have kind of opened my eyes to the realities of overlanding and off-roading and stuff, and kind of helped me realize what I need and don't need, kind of things like that. So it's
a lot of that's personal too. It's something that might work for like you won't work for me. So you might have different gear than I do. And
yeah. Well, for my gear, I just a little background on me. I have a wife and a 10-month-old son. So my gear does kind of pertain to keeping the family comfortable. So I'd like to have them comfortable while we're out there. That way they want to keep doing it. And so, yeah, my gear's a little bit different. More, I want to stay comfort, pointed towards comfort without going too far, without getting a trailer and a camper and all that. So that's a tough and fun challenge with an FJ Cruiser, because they don't really have a whole ton of space in them.
What's the it's kind of squirrel thought, but what's the towing capacity in your FJ?
5,000 pounds.
I can look this up real quick, and everyone gets to hear me type.
Yeah, I don't remember, man. I want to say something like 5, 6.
Yeah, 5,000 pounds. So I would just, when you said camper, I'm like, could he even pull a camper? But yeah, you could.
Yeah,
like a little pop
definitely.
up.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised in what you actually see some of these FJs pull, whether they're supposed to or not. I've seen them pull some pretty large campers.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, I was going to tell you this yesterday. I had to go out to Coopersville, and in front of me there was this big trailer full of hay. And when they turned, I saw that it was a berry-colored FJ Cruiser pulling that big trailer full of
That's
hay.
nice. Yeah. I mean, they're a tough engine. I don't know. I know the transmissions are pretty decent, but I don't know. I've never wanted to tow like anything crazy, and the trailer is good on paper, but the type of off-roading that I want to do to get to these spots, trailers just aren't ideal. And if I don't have to go to one, I don't want to. So
Right.
that's definitely part of it. So optimizing space in the FJ has been pretty important.
Yeah. I think that trailers are good if you're going to be setting up a base camp. But if you're wanting to go to a new spot every single night, in Michigan, a trailer's not really that convenient because we've got some tight trails. I mean, they're easy trails, but they're tight, kind of hard to maneuver with a trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and for me, a lot of it's like expedition. I don't really know, like destination based just as much as it is the drive. And I think with the typical overlanding um, mindset, I think by the original, with air quotations around this definition of overlanding, or it's more about the drive than it is the destination. And I'm really mixed in between the two because I like to do both. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to configure my truck to where I can enjoy both, do both without getting a trailer. So I'm assuming right now that a rooftop tent's probably going to be my best bet. But just from talking with everybody else on pros and cons about that versus a trailer with a rooftop tent or just
I
a teardrop camper in general.
I think I'd agree with that. The way that you wheel, I think that a rooftop tent's your best bet.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to stop one night. For instance, we did a 1,200 mile trip around the UP of Michigan. And it was very pointed towards different destinations that I thought would be cool. Not necessarily like touristy destinations, but just places that I flagged on the map that are like, cool, we can do this during this day. We can go, an 8-hour drive and hit this, and this, find this campsite, scout this one, and then, as do it and plan it out for 4 or 5 days. So that's kind of how I like to. And then, we get to the cool spot. It's nice and beautiful. It's quiet, but we enjoyed the whole time there. Like I'm taking the scenic option. I'm not taking highways. So that adds to the miles and time. But
So with your want to camp, not necessarily camp in the FJ, but camp out of the FJ, what have you done to facilitate that?
well, right now I'm not going to be camping on the roof for probably next summer. That's rooftop tents future plans. So right now we did some backpacking and stuff when we had the kid, and that's pretty much what I wanted to kind of mix in with the with overlanding. So we have a lot of backpacking stuff. So like my tent is a Nemo Dagger. It's a 2-person. I tried to do something small and light. That way it didn't take up a lot of space in the FJ. We have Thermarest compression pillows, Big Agnes Rapids, the insulated sleeping pads, Big Agnes Echo Park 20s for the sleeping bags, which is a synthetic bag. And then then we have like a cheap Amazon toilet that we have. So for camping, that's the real basics around that. And then kind of for cooking, which is a big part of that rear space that I've been trying to optimize.
All of it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you look at the back, you open the door, it's basically based cooking. I mean, I see my wife can and will eat frozen dehydrated meals, and we enjoy them for the most part. But there's something to be said about a really nice hot cooked meal on a cool night or a night of just bumming and driving and being in the truck all day, something about a nice steak and some fried veggies and stuff that is just it just completes it, right? So adds to that.
And then I'm over here eating hot dogs.
Yeah. Hey, some people can. I know Derek, part of our MST group, he just eats hot dogs constantly. I think there's a joke that is going around right now on Instagram that people just saw him cook for the first time on a grill that he brought himself. But I only seen him touch it a couple of times. I'm pretty sure his wife was the one cooking behind the closed doors. But yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, my cooking in the back, um, I with as much as I wanted to cook, I decided I wanted to get a propane stove. And I went propane stove instead of like a Blackstone griddle, just because I planned on making things like other than like things that you could just fry on the griddle. So boiling water, making rice, stuff like that. So I'm sure you could probably get away with it on the griddle and somehow do that, but I wanted to be able to have that full capability. And the Coleman that I have, I think it's a Coleman 222, and I think that it has equal BTU burning on both sides of the stove, so I can do two different types of cooking at the same time. So if I want to, cook steak on one side and make rice on the other, I'm not taking heat away. So that was something that
Right.
was pretty important for me. And then keeping like my food fresh and being able to have fresh food, not soggy food. I wanted to get a fridge. So I ended up looking all over Amazon and YouTube and ended up settling on the EcoFlow Glacier, which was like half off at the time. It comes with a battery. It's 38 quarts and it's got an ice maker. Not that I use it, but it was really nice bang for the buck. It's been a pretty nice fridge, and I charge it while I'm driving and overlanding, and then over the night that I'm staying at camp, it runs off of its own battery. So I'm really, unless I'm staying there for multiple days, I really don't have to worry about my fridge losing power or having no battery. And the nice thing is I could always pull that battery out and use it as a battery charger. It's so I can use it for like to charge phones or charge whatever I need to. So I really like that. And I think it was about $500, originally 1,200. It was a really good deal, and I figured it's something too good to pass up.
I mean,
So
that's more than half off.
yeah, it was a great deal. So I really like the fridge, and you could turn it into a freezer if you want, but I primarily use it for fridge, keeping fresh veggies and fruit. I brought raspberries and mushrooms and stuff this last week, and they stayed fresh and they look really good still after 2 or 3 days. So it was kind of nice. But yeah, other than the fridge, I think I have a Jet Boil Minimo that I use for making coffee or just boiling water real quick. Like if I'm going to make instant mashed potatoes or an instant dehydrated meal, I'll use that while I'm cooking. So it's like I have 3 stoves right then. And that's really nice. It's really good for making coffee, though. It can boil water in like 90 seconds. So
I
that's the
can't wait.
primary use.
I can't wait to use that on our trip coming up to make my coffee with my new French press.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty nice. I use a pour over system actually. Stanley came out with a pour over system that I wanted to give a try, and it's not bad. With pour overs, you have to have like a medium grit style coffee. So you
Which
know,
uh which Stanley pour over did you get? Did you get the single serving or do you have the camp sized one?
I have the camp sized one, so you just keep pouring. You just keep pouring over it for however much water you want. But what I do is I make camp like a cowboy coffee. So I'll put the coffee grounds in the mini mo
Oh
and
God.
boil it in the water, let it steep, and then I will pour. Yeah, and then I pour it over the pour over to filter all the grounds out. So it's jet fuel.
I'm
And
not gonna say I'm a coffee snob, but that hurts my soul.
yeah, does it?
Like
I,
I do cowboy coffee occasionally, but that's like my least favorite way to make coffee.
well, I've only done it a couple times so far, and it seems like it brings out the flavor a little bit more because I noticed that even with a thick, it's kind of a with this certain pour over system, it's a fine line with your coffee grains of like how it filters through. So like if you
Right.
can have them, you can have a little thicker and it goes too fast, and you don't get the right steep with the coffee, or you go too slow and it just sits there with the fine grain, or it goes through the filter. So I'm still monkeying with it. I did that for a couple times just to see if it worked, but I was kind of worried, and I don't know that I like burning the coffee in the Minimo. So I think that's the downside, is that it was burning it. I don't want to burn the
Yep.
coffee itself. So
Have
so
you
I think
you ever tried a percolator?
my dad used one, like the old enamel
Yeah.
percolators and stuff. I never really thought of it, and my only thing was again space. So percolators are typically a bigger system,
A
so
little
I
bit.
tried to stay away from that. I might end up going to a French press though, and Jetboil does make a French press. So
Did you ever look up that one I told you about, the
I did not.
Brutrek
I didn't even start with it yet.
Brutrek Overlander?
Yeah, is it? Because I was just gonna, when I get a dual battery setup and an inverter, honestly, you start weighing it out. Like, why not just get a small single serve coffee maker or something that, you know,
I mean, you can make better coffee than a single serve coffee
you
maker.
can. Yeah, you can.
So, but back to the brew truck. What's cool about it is it's a like a normal coffee mug size. So it's making single serve coffee, but it's a French press. And when you press it down, it seals the grounds away from the water, so you can remove the bottom and clean it without having to drain the thing. And then you drink it right out of the brew truck as if it was a mug.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I have to look that up for my wife. She is the primary coffee drinker. I just make it for her most of the time, and the colder it gets, the more that she wants, or I might get a little
Right.
bit. But for me, I primarily drink energy drinks, so I just wake up in the morning, crack one out of the cooler, um, or the refrigerator. So yeah, I mean, cooking wise, that's been really good for me, and I'm gonna have to look at that for coffee, because I mean, the Jetmo Mini Mo's, I might stick with that because it's such a good universal system, and just to get some use out of it, keep it around.
Right.
I mean, it's quite nice. So it's just nice having around though too. We do like dehydrated meals, like peak dehydrated meals. I just turned on another guy at camp. Actually, he was really excited. We went on this camp trip because he was like, dude, I got the biscuits and gravy that you fed me the one day. He's like, I got it. It's so good. And then he shared it with his wife, and she liked it too. So they shared one, and they're
Yeah. If I'm eating dehydrated stuff, it's MREs every time because they're cheap.
they're not that much cheaper as far as like by singles, but like bulk, yes, absolutely.
I get boxes of them from my old unit. So
Well, shoot, hook me up, brother.
hey,
I
I
gotta
got
add some
you.
to my storage. Yeah, but yeah. So other than that, that's I just use some cheap plates and stuff. I try to recycle as much as I can, so I'm trying to use. Uh, I have some cheap plastic plates from Walmart that I clean and use a lot, and then if I'm serving others, I paper plates so like the cutlery and the plates and stuff are nothing special. Try to just put an emphasis on the cooking, and then I have like an old
Yep.
Teflon, or not Teflon, but just uh, a cooking pan that I had just laying around.
You're not even running cast iron.
No, I have cast iron, but again, the problem with cast iron is that when you want to boil water, or cook something like making a sauce, it starts to pull up the seasoning.
That I mean, we only use cast iron. We don't have anything else, even at home.
Yeah,
And they say that, but really, man, you're fine.
I have a
If you,
cheap Lodge, and my issue is that when I try to, like, let's say make spaghetti
Mhm.
or or anything that like I turn into a sauce with,
Mhm.
maybe I just have the heat on too hot, and that's probably because I'm trying to rush and do 15 things at once, but it actually pulls the coating off, or it leaves it really dry, and I don't have that oil coating on anymore. So I
What do
have,
you what do you use to season it? I oil mine after every cook.
yeah, I typically would too. I use a little bit of olive oil sometimes, and then the rest is like high flash, like what is it, grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, stuff
So
like that.
in I've experimented with a lot of different seasoning types, and I found that things like flaxseed, grape oil, or the grape, even a little bit of olive, they tend to break down more when you're doing sauces and stuff. But if you use canola oil, if you get a decent enough seasoning with canola oil, it lasts forever.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
reapply after every cook. So
I tried to as well. Like I don't skip it out, but after I wash it, um, I just noticed that you could tell that it's not coated how it was or seasoned how it was. But so for quickness and ease of use, while I'm camping, I don't tend to use it, and I'm not using it over fire. That would be a little different. Like if it was over the fire, I'd probably use cast iron a little bit more. I used to have a cast iron pan that I brought all the time, but for weight, I just kind of took it out, just extra to bring in and out. And then here I have a pan that's dedicated because I mean, in the house, I cook with cast iron every time. But when I'm out camping, I just have a pan that I threw in there that's dedicated for camp cooking. So,
well, now into the fun stuff. What have you performance wise? What have you done to the truck?
engine wise, nothing. Recovery, I guess that's not really performance, but suspension wise, I have Bilstein in the fronts and rears. I have Bilstein 6120s in the front, and then the Bilstein 5160s with an external reservoir in the rears. And then in the back, because of all the extra weight, I have Old Man Emu. I think they're like 200 or 250 pound constant load springs to help take some of that stress off of the back. I might have to actually add. Eventually, I'm going to have to go up a little bit on those springs. But yeah, for right now, that's kind of all I have for performance. I think. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe an upgraded alternator from an '07 Tacoma that puts out maybe just a little bit more amperage, but that's about it.
And I know you went with the MXT 275 for comms, right?
Yeah, I did. I think I went off of that on. Yeah, I think it was actually your recommendation to look at Midlands and the comms on
Yep.
that. So, yeah, I got Midland. I really like. That's the MXT 275. And then I had I think it's Retrevis or some like Retevis. I don't even know how to say it. Um, it's a mobile antenna. It's just a large antenna to help extend the range of the communication. Mounted that in the back of the FJ. I got a what was it? Oh, the external. It's like a little external speaker so that I can actually hear people when I'm driving on comms, because that comms does not get loud enough. So, and then yeah, I think I have the a pack. It's a 2-pack of handheld radios with a extra battery pack that to give my wife if she needs to spot, or someone else if they don't have one. So that does happen time to time. And then what else for navigation and comms? Comms. Oh yeah, I got the WeBoost Overland, the WeBoost Reach, and that's a signal booster for cell phones, and that works pretty well.
No big deal. Just like the most expensive piece of comms gear you've got.
Yeah, that's pretty. Unless I was to get what is that, the Starlink, that's gonna probably stay the most expensive comms gear that I have. You know what, for what it is, and other people that ride with me can attest to it. I beat the crap out of that thing because I don't set it flat. I set it at an angle. When I'm going down
Right.
trails, it's constantly being hit by trees. And honestly, the thing's held up quite well. I flip it straight up when I'm on the highway, on the roads, and or on logging trails and stuff. And I use that for just having a little bit of extra comms, talking, back home, making, sending updates, or for navigation, like with Onyx Offroad, Google Maps, etc.
Yeah, it's the Wii Boost is pretty cool. I mean, my take. I try to get away from cell phone coverage, so I don't really want to bring
Yeah,
it with me.
yeah, and
But
that's the thing is I do like uploading, sharing my adventure. We have some family that likes to watch it and stuff, so it's a lot easier for me to share it as I go, like at the end of the night. Work on the pictures while everyone's sleeping and stuff, and I enjoy that. Um, but it does get a little daunting when like you get to the end of the trip and you have 400 pictures, and you're like, oh, because I constantly take pictures and videos and make little compilations and stuff. So it's a lot easier to do it when every day and split it up.
yeah. So what are some future trips you've got planned? Anything cool for the next year?
Um, I really wanted to hit Porcupine Mountains up this year, but I think that's gonna have to wait till next spring. Or maybe next fall, because I really want to hit it when the fall colors. Um, we have yours coming up.
Yep. The
Um,
Botches yearly trip.
yep, and then I created an event from one of our off-road groups. It's a cryptid hunting event, so I have that. I'm putting it out. We're gonna go search around for Dog Man. We're gonna go hunt his ass down. Then I went right to the source from one of the first sightings in Michigan was in Wexford County, so that's where we're camping is Wexford County. So that'll be fun.
I guess as a little side tangent from there, but as the only non-original Botches member, how did you become a Botch?
Um, Probably actually through the off road group originally, Mitten State Tours. I met Alex through that, and we started talking. He said he was in my area too, and we were like, "Oh, really? What area? Oh, Grant. Oh, me too." And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Yeah, went to talk to my wife. Like, hey, yeah, I met this guy. He lives in Grant with us. He off roads and stuff." And she goes, "Well, what's his name?" And I go, "Oh, his name's Alex. Blah blah." And she goes, "Oh yeah, I went to high school with him." So small world, but so then of course Alex knows my wife too, and so it was
She's a nice
definitely
lady.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's a nice lady. Uh, but yeah, dude. I mean, it was pretty cool. Small world though. And he only lives like 5 minutes away from me, so he gets to help me with any of the issues that I have, like any of my engine issues or something. And then I help him hold flashlights.
Hey, son, you're not holding it
I
smooth
know,
enough.
I know. You get PTSD from that.
Yeah,
What were you
man.
saying?
Well, oh no, I was just gonna say it was nice learning a little bit about you, and it'll be cool to watch your rig progress as the next coming years come up.
Yeah. Once I start upgrading the exterior a little bit, it's gonna be nice. I don't have a whole lot, just the crap I got on my roof and stuff. It'll be nice to take that stuff off, optimize it. I do plan on getting like a Prinzu roof rack, and then which sucks because I'm gonna have to take all the gear off and put it back on. Plan on getting
Yeah.
some new lights, a front bumper eventually. I think I'm just gonna get a one of those hidden winch bumpers because I don't mind the look of my front end.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
mind the look of your front end either.
and usually when you add a bumper, depending on what it is, of course, it does affect your approach angles. So the one I originally wanted before I started doing this was like the big ARB Safari brush bumper, and that has changed. So Once
Well,
what?
then you just weld a tow hitch to the front and make a shovel, and then everything's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could help dig the holes out for everybody else behind me. So yeah, I mean, at that point, I could just be a bulldozer. Oh, this hole's too crazy. Well, hold on. Let me go through it first. I'll get stuck, hook the winch up, and pull everything out of it for everyone.
Yeah. Well, man, thanks for coming on and introducing yourself and your rig a little bit. We'll definitely get to know you a little more over the next couple of episodes.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'll definitely keep bugging everyone on here. So, well, all right. Yeah, you grilled me all about my stuff and my rig and what I like to do. I guess it's only fair that I ask you a little bit about yours, since I don't honestly know a whole lot about it. So I guess we'll start off with like, what is it? What are you? I know it's a Toyota 4Runner, but what year?
So mine's a very clapped out 98 Toyota 4Runner. She'd been through the ringer by the time I got her, about 240-ish thousand miles when I bought it. And I've put almost 23 or 24,000 on it in the last year. Which I work from home. So pretty much all of that is trips.
Yeah.
Like
that's fair. Yeah, you do.
Crazy
You
to think
definitely.
about.
Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely do a lot of trips, so you don't really have any reason to run around long distances with it. So, so when year did you buy that? A couple years ago.
I bought that in 23, April of 23.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's not too bad.
So
yeah. And how do you?
I really haven't had it very long.
Yeah. Well, and you're a Jeep guy before this, right? You were a Jeep guy before you bought this one.
Yeah, I had my first car was an 83 CJ7. Just one that my dad had bought when he got back from Saudi Arabia because he loved them over there. So he bought one, and it was our family Jeep until I totaled it in 2013.
Nice.
Then I bought a 2000 TJ when I was in Korea. My dad bought it with my money. Because I couldn't have cars over there, but I built that most of 2016. Wheeled it all over the Southwest, Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, Utah, those kinds of places. And then, I mean, I had a 73 J4000 that I towed it with. So mostly all Jeeps. And then I bought a Toyota.
Well, how are you liking it? Is it better? Is it worse? What's your ups? What's your downs?
Well, I miss solid axle. IFS is all right. IFS is smooth. Yeah. Daily driving, I probably prefer the IFS. But when it comes to trail time, I treat my 4Runner like it's a Jeep, and I break it all the time because of it.
That's true. I can attest to that.
I think I'm on front end rebuild like 2 or 3 in a year.
You also treat your 4Runner like it's a $500 Jeep XJ that you couldn't give a fuck less about. So, to be fair on all the IFS systems and Toyotas out there, he doesn't just beat it up like it's an off-road Jeep. He just beats the living dog shit out of it, no matter what it is. Yeah, I mean, so that's not necessarily a slight to IFS. He's just very hard on his vehicles and knows how to fix them. So continues to do that. So there's your disclaimer for that. So you beat the shit out of it, but what have you done to it to actually do that? I mean, I know that you have a lift on it, but what do you got going on?
So in the rear, it's on the rear is just a 3-inch rough country. It's got I can't think of the name of it right now. The correction to put the axle back straight under the truck, whatever that's called. Anyways, the rear is very simple. It's nothing major. In the front, I've got gusseted spindles since I broke one. And it's mostly just simple stuff. Freedom Offroad front suspension, nice and cheap. It seems to work. I haven't really gotten out and beat on it too much since I put that on. I've got a Northwest Trail Innovations front bumper. It's pretty okay. I paid $200 for it on Facebook Marketplace, so I can't complain about it too much.
Yeah, no, can't complain.
And we just welded that right to the frame. I never plan on taking it off because I break stuff too often to make it removable.
Yeah. What are you running for a winch?
I've got a nice cheap X-Bolt 10K.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think I paid $300 for it. But
yeah, that's on my list too.
It just kind of works. I mean, I was going to go with something a little more expensive, and then one of the guys from MST pointed me towards X-Bolt, and it just I figured for $300, if it only worked for a year, it still was worth the money.
How long have you had it now?
Probably 8 months.
Okay. Well, it's doing pretty good. So
yeah, I never have issues with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's on my list. I think X-Bolt, one of the Harbor Freight specials, something like that, I think is mine. I'm definitely not going to be going for a Warren on my first winch. So I think the Harbor Freight special will be my probably be my thing, because at least I can return it, or if anything fries on it, I could just drive to the one at 30 minutes away and
well, that's the other thing with X-Bolt is we're pretty sure that they're made in the same factory as the Harbor Freight ones.
Yeah,
and they're half the cost. So
yeah,
let's say you buy one and you break it in 6 months, you can buy another one and it would be just like as if you'd bought one of the Badlands.
Yeah, very fair, very fair. So you got you got the bumper, the winch, you cut your fenders, you slice them bitches
fenders?
up. Yeah. You barely got fenders, so it looks like you have a bigger lift than you really do. So
at least in the front.
Yeah. And then you're running, you're what is that, like a 3-inch? Is that a suspension lift?
I've got it set the front, I've got it set at about 3.2 inches, I'd say. And then the rear is just solid 3 inches.
Right.
And then everything else, pretty much everything else front suspension is just from the factory. Because, I mean, if I break a CV axle, I want to be able to run to O'Reilly's and grab one and just throw it in there to get home.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. What are you running for, like, wheels and tires?
I've got some Relation race wheels. They're bronze, the whole new Overlander thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. They're really sick. I want them.
I love them. They came on the truck and they'll probably stay there forever because I love them.
Yeah, they're nice.
And then I've got some good old eBay special mud trains. They're Road One Calvary.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're I think I paid like $550 for the 4 of them. I've had them on there about a year and they've been pretty solid.
Then you have some kind of thing with your valve stems, right? I forget what that's called.
Yeah, I'm running the Apex Designs Rapid. No. Something deflate, I think. But basically it's got a little switch on it. You pull up on it and the tire deflates, and I keep my gauge hooked up to it and stop it where it needs to be. So yeah, it's the RPV is what they call it. The Apex Designs RPV.
Yeah. That has been pretty nice. I watch you just pull that and get right to what you need to get to, and it's quick.
Yeah, my air down time is like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta like run around just to do it. But okay, well, you got your air down. What's your air up? What are you working with?
I've always wanted onboard air. On the TJ, I had just a little 12-volt pump. I didn't have a tank or anything. It was just enough to, turn on the locker, and that was it. So this time around, I went with just a eBay 12-volt pump that I've got plumbed into a little 2-gallon tank. And it works pretty well. That pump's starting to see the end of its life, I think, but yeah, it still works.
It looks like an off-brand Vier compressor.
Yeah, it's Vixen Horns, I think, is who makes that one, or who branded that one.
Yeah, I mean, it still starts with a fucking V, so it might as well be. I mean, they look identical, but
Yeah.
it's worked a lot better than the Harbor Freight ones I've had, so you can't complain too bad. I went through 3 of them in 3 weeks, so I ended up just going with a more expensive one and just being done with it. But
I
eventually, I
really
think,
think with your Harbor Freight ones, I think that if you had them plumbed into a tank so they had some time to cool,
oh
that
yeah,
probably would have helped. That
yeah, I
being
wasn't
said,
even down that much for PSI. Like it wasn't like I was running 10 PSI or anything, going
that's
all the way
true.
up to 30. I was doing like 20 to 30. And
Jesus.
yeah, like 20 to 30, 15 to 30. And each time, the first time it literally, the fuse melted inside of the compressor. The second time it just started knocking and stopped working, started blowing the fuse. And then the third time it literally sounded like a knocking engine, and the whole thing just came right apart out the side. So I said, "Yeah, that's enough." I got that $70 back, threw it right back into a compressor off of Amazon. I think it was a Thor's Lightning, and that thing's worked really good for me. I actually used it this weekend. Did my tires and Mike's tires right after mine, and it was still cool enough that you could grab it. It was hot, but it's nothing near anything like the other compressors where you can't even touch it. So,
Right, right.
yeah, man, it'll be really nice. Maybe I'll do a tank like you, because the less stress, the better on these compressors. You want them to last long. So,
Yeah, I really think the tank has really helped mine last as long as it has, and that even though it's only 2 pounds, that little burst of air right there. I mean, I've rebeaded a tire with it. Like
oh yeah,
it can be helpful.
yeah, for sure. And you have that actually plumbed into the inside of your truck, though, not like not under the hood or in the back. So you have that in the back, like the cargo area, right?
Yeah, I have it on the rear fender well.
Yeah. Well, and you have a lot of room back there too. So I think you're actually, so not to tangent off, but kind of I think you're working on what the Milwaukee pack out system. That's going to be your kind of avenue for organization, I guess, for your equipment.
Yeah, I'm getting there. First, I'm doing the first 2 pack outs are going to be battery boxes because I'm moving my battery to the back so that I can make room for tubbing for 37s.
Ooh.
So the battery is going to come to the back, and it'll be sealed AGM inside of a pack out, which will then have an Anderson connector to connect to the rest of the truck. And then on top of that, I'm going to do 2 new compressors, dual compressor this time instead of single. And those will just click into the top of that case with an Anderson connector.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you kind of turned me on to the whole Anderson connector thing. And that's such a good idea. It's so quick. And I just got limrizers for my truck, and it's a pain in the ass to unhook them every time I want to pop the hood. So I'm really glad you told me about those, because I'm going to be making one coming out the front of my truck pretty soon, and we might as well hook you up with one too.
I I always look at the Anderson connectors as a civilian version of the Army slave cable,
Yeah, I
because
don't. I'm
if I could do slave cables, man, that's exactly what I do.
right, right. So you is that going to be your kind of do all, is the Milwaukee pack out, or are you going to have um
Yeah,
something
I think
separate for your tents or something like that? Like,
I think I'm gonna end up doing mostly just pack outs. I'm getting the pack out mounts from Offroad Anonymous, who's based out of Traverse City, by the way.
huh? I have to look them
Thought
up.
you'd think that's cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I'm getting the pack out mounts from him, screwing them into my cargo area. It just it's nice not to have to tie things down and have a quick removable box. So I'll have one that has all my camping and tent stuff in it. I'll have one with recovery gear. I'll have, everything will have its own box, nice, clean, and sorted.
yeah. I'm going to do something a little different, but I really like that idea. Maybe if I delete my seat system, it'll kind of morph into that, but I have such a small amount of room right now that I think the more pack out, the more boxing type material,
right.
the worse for me right now. So, but it's going to be super clean looking, and I can't wait to see it. So, I mean, you said you were running. Well, you said you're moving the batteries to the back. You're trying to get tubbing for 37s. What's your plans for it then? If you're trying to throw 37s on there.
I mean, in the future, I'll probably sit at 37s. I just want to not feel as much on the trail as I do right now, kind of smooth things out a little bit. Mm-hmm. Obviously be able to attack some larger obstacles. To me, a little different than you, when we go wheeling, we go set up a base camp and then we wheel the area around the base camp, and we might pack up and move base camp, after a couple days. But to me, it's nice because I can just get there, take everything out of the truck, set it at base camp, and then go wheel.
Yeah. I love that. I love that this off-road community, there's so many different versions of doing and trying to accomplish, the same thing. So it's really cool that we can get together like this, and you have your plans, I have mine, and we still can kind of coexist, and it's really fun. So do you have any future trips coming up either that you plan on doing, other than we have the Botches one that I already, the Botches one yearly. Do you have anything else going on?
Well, coming up next year in June, I believe, we're going to be going down to Leatherwood with MSP.
Yep. I know you guys are probably going to go down to do that. I don't know if I will be yet. I don't know if that's my thing, but it might be nice to just go down there and see the terrain and see the other off-road stuff. I'm more of like an off-road trail kind of guy. Like I like the exploring with trails, but Leatherwood, as I understand it, is a newer park. So
with like 5,000 acres or something like that.
Tons of trails. And I think it's all ranging difficulties too. So like you can bring whatever you want really. So it's looking like it's going to be kind of a really cool spot to run around in.
I'm sorry, 50,000 acres and 250 miles of trails.
Yeah, that's you can
actually overland inside the park.
Yeah, if I do that, I probably would. Sounds like a lot of fun too. Just don't know if I'm just weighing it. Do I want to spend that much mileage to go down there, right, or spend that much mileage going in either other direction? So we're still thinking about it.
I mean, if I get that tow rig I'm working on, then we just put all 3 trucks on the trailer and go down.
Yeah. That's that would be fun, other than being cramped in the tow rig. But yes.
Well, I'm looking at crew cab OBS trucks, so you'll have plenty of room.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that'd be a trip not to bring the ladies with us though, because that could get crowded.
Ladies, my son, your dogs. That's a fun one. That'd be a fun day.
We would we'd have to make Mark drive the taco separate just to have room.
Yeah, there'd be some choice words, I'm sure, on this trip like that. But yeah, man, it's well, thanks for introducing me, man. It's really cool that we're actually doing this podcast together. I know we got Mark that we're going to do another episode with him on eventually. But I just want to say thank you for getting this kind of set up. I'm more of a voice behind it, but I have no idea on the technical side of it. So it's really cool that you're trying to do the off-road podcast on kind of a different platform than like your typical Spotify stuff. And I'm not really familiar with it, but the value for value thing's kind of a cool concept.
It mostly just streamlines the way that artists or podcasters get paid. Instead of having, with Spotify, you have to have so many listens before you start getting anything. And you really have to play into that ad market. Whereas with value for value, whoever's listening can just decide to send some money to you. They can just, send you a quick message with 10,000 sats, or just shoot you maybe just a blank boost with just some sats in it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is definitely really cool, and I'm definitely glad we went this route versus the other route. I mean, I think that it's cool that people can come by and watch, and if they don't like it, they don't have to, or if they do like it, they can contribute to future episodes. So it's I think that's really cool. You pay people based on what you value them at, and
Yep.
um, yeah,
And in the future, I could see us having a boost segment where we read people's messages and boost. That way they can, kind of feel like they're part of the show.
oh yeah, dude, I'd love to interact with the people.
And
Yeah,
I don't necessarily care about the money, but I'd
no,
like to support the value for value idea.
yeah.
So we'll play into a little.
Yeah, I mean, money's not going to do much right for us anytime soon. I mean, we're going to be putting it right back into this. So
Yeah,
it's eventually maybe you guys can love us enough that we can buy us the gas to do our traveling, and
that'd be pretty
that's
cool.
when I start going like this, and we made it, boys. That's it. That's the end of the line for me. You pay
That's
for
when I
my
move into
gas,
my
and that's
truck
all I
and quit my
need.
job.
Yeah, you pay for my gas. That's all I need. Say less. I mean, I can live off of hot dogs after that. That's fine.
Yeah,
Well, man,
value for value is pretty cool. And the whole podcasting 2.0 ecosystem, I mean, it gives us the ability to do live streaming inside of an app. If you're using a modern podcast app, something like I don't even know what all there is anymore. You've got Podverse, Fountain. I don't know who else has jumped on there, but yeah, if you get a podcasting 2.0 app, we'll be able to do live streams right in the app. It'll give you a notification to tell you that we're live. With Fountain, you're able to actually interact and like comment on the podcast, so you can actually interact with us that way. I mean, there's a lot to it, man. There's a lot that we can do now.
there's definitely a lot to it. That's kind of actually over my head a little bit. So I'm glad we got tech gurus like you here. So, man, it's been nice. Appreciate you for coming in, telling us about your rig, what you want to do, and then even explaining the value for value thing for this podcast. So, anybody who's listening now can look back on this, and if they need any information on value for value, this is a pretty good intro to that kind of thing. So, appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no, appreciate yours.